And we are done. Post-show wrap-up. All right, y'all, we just finished my live sale from Sunday, November 30th. I just finished getting everything taken upstairs while I was doing the sale. Over here on the china cabinet, I had my scale and everything that I sold during the sale. I was piling up over here. Anyways, I've carried all that on upstairs already. But tomorrow we are going to get started bright and early wrapping up what we sold. I fell asleep and woke up to this, and it's still going. It's 7 in the morning right now, but the sun can't even come up. Oh, happy Monday. Happy Monday. So this morning we are going to be packing up what sold last night during my live sale. I want to thank everybody that came out to hang out. It was a lot of fun, and we sold some fun stuff. I mean, look at this. There's a couple Fenton pieces in here. This adorable little pig planter. I love him. This piece I absolutely adored. I found this a while back at the Salvation Army, and it is this magnificent little hand-done art pottery piece, and I love it because you can see like the fingerprints of the person who made it in these little indentions on here and stuff. I don't know. It's just really, really cool. Anyways, I wanted to take the time to wrap up one of these packages in particular with you guys, and it's the one that contains this. It will be these 3 items, this little Westmoreland compote, it's sort of an amber, reddish amber color, this little satin glass Fenton shoe, and then this little bone china piece by Radnor in England. And I wanted to take the time to wrap this one up with you guys because I do these ones a little bit different, a little bit special. And the reason I do that is because this piece will need to be boxed independently amongst these pieces in a bigger box. And I usually do these, even if I was sending this by itself, I would put it in a smaller box inside of a larger box. These are so delicate, so fragile. It is absolutely stunningly gorgeous, so realistic looking, and there's so little teeny tiny damage to this thing that I want to keep it that way, keep it intact and in beautiful condition. Oh my goodness. So that is what we're going to work on. Oh my goodness. Wow. Well, I mean, I guess it's pretty, right? I'm in my slippers, so I can't really walk out there too far, but well, this is what we're dealing with here, and it's still snowing, and apparently it's going to continue snowing until around 7 o'clock tonight. But our little car, Kyle just tried to run to the grocery store, and I guess they really haven't plowed the roads or done anything yet, so our little car with its little tires is barely making it. And yikes. Okay. Well, so he took my first round of packages that I have been able to complete. It's right around noon or so now. He's taken those up to the post office for me, and then I will continue through the day wrapping stuff up with the hope that the streets get plowed, and tomorrow morning I can take the rest and drop it off. But that's where things are at right now, guys.
Woo!
So this is the Radnor Bone China England little porcelain shoe. And if you look real close on here, you can see some of the like little fingerprints. I don't know how well it'll catch it for you in the video, but these are super delicate, thin little porcelain, applied petals to each one of these flowers. And so we want to make sure that it arrives safely. In order to do that, we are going to be sticking foam inside of this box. Before we stick the foam in there, we are going to cut a hole in the center of these, not quite all the way to the bottom, but just about, so that basically the shoe will sit sort of snug down within the foam, but in the center of it and nothing be around it. Now, to prevent anything from getting around it, I typically will set it within that hole and put tissue paper around it. And sometimes, in addition, I also will use a thin sheet of foam. So we'll go down and we will cut our holes in the foam in the center here, and then we'll come back up and we will stick this thing in the box, and I'll show you how we get it done. Okay guys, we are going to start with our little foam blocks and one of the best contraptions I have found for such projects, which is my turkey slicer. And because we generally never eat turkey in such a fashion, I don't really ever use this for anything else. I don't know that it ever actually has been used for anything else. It is still in brand new condition. So I use this to cut up my foam blocks when I need them. And I have found it to be the easiest tool to use. And if you remember, we made marks on the side so we know about how deep down we want the hole to go. But then we also have the top rung out here as well. So we'll start with that. And then I'm going to come across sideways. This does take some finessing. Okay, I can feel certain spots in there that need to be carved a little more. There we are, we're getting there. You of course want to be very careful when doing this. Almost there. There we go. And so you can see it left a little bit of extra in there, which for the most part you can usually pick away. Doesn't like to let go of you though. Static. Looks like this maybe should have been a little wider. Okay. One down. That one went a little quicker. All right. Now you'll notice it's not a perfect circle. That's not really what I'm going for. I'm going for something that is wide enough that it will allow that piece to sit down in here without it pressing too much on the flowers, but still give it that rigidness within the box so that it won't get crushed. All right, back up to the room. Okay, we're back. And our little shoe here should fit nicely. So now let's take our little foam cubes, stick them down inside of here. If you can still see, I know it's kind of dark in there. I'm going to very lightly wrap this piece in some tissue paper and set it down in there, just around the edges of the foam to keep the foam nice and secure without any wiggle room there. All right, so now we have our little piece wrapped in tissue paper, tucked in its little hole. Even right now, it doesn't really wiggle much at all. I'm gonna take my little, it's a very thin, like a 1-ply, if you will, sheet of foam. But I think if we take this and kind of smush it a little bit into those gaps around the shoe and the foam, that will give it a little extra protection. Here we are. We got us an air pillow. We're gonna set on top of there. I need maybe one more. Okay, that should do it. Now, we'll tape the lid of that box, and you hear no movement in there. That shoe is not moving. It's in a secured little box that will then go inside of this bigger box as such. And then I can pack the other pieces right around it. So let me get to it. Now we just need to kind of cushion some extra on the top here with some air pillows. May not need to be much, just to give it, yeah, that feels a little sturdier, just to give it a little more oomph, you know? Now we go weigh it. Okay, it came in just under 3 pounds. So we will get this taped on here. And there we are. Okay, so in that case, I was able to refund that buyer, I think $12 or $14. So during this round of my live sale, I had turned off combined shipping. It still combined everything into one order on my end, but it charged separate shipping cost per each item rather than the progressive style where when you buy one item you pay that full shipping cost for that item, but then the items going forward are progressive shipping, so it only adds $1 or $2 total to it. Some of the problems I was running into are, you know, you just never know who's going to buy what or how much of what or whatever, you know, and so it becomes kind of tricky, and I was finding that I was losing a lot of profit at the end of the day because I have to cover whatever shipping cost was not covered and should have been when the item sold. And so I had been talking with some other sellers in Niknax on kind of, you know, what are they doing for this sort of thing? And that was something somebody had suggested because they were having the same problem. They sell similar things to me, like a variety of sizes and weights and all this kind of stuff. And, you know, some things more fragile than others and, you know, require different things, just like that little shoe. So what they had suggested was to turn off combined shipping. I would rather refund the buyer whatever overage in shipping it was. I don't make money off of shipping. I don't want to make money off of shipping, but I don't want to pay out of pocket for shipping. I already buy all the shipping supplies and boxes and, you know, a lot of my shipping packing material, as you see over here, I'm fortunate enough to get from my secret source, my mom. So that helps a lot cost-wise on my end, but nonetheless, it's still expensive to, you know, pay for all the little tidbits. You don't think about it. All the tape you go through, paper, you know, printing paper, ink, labels, tissue paper, packing paper, all the things, just all of it. It adds up. And so I already pay for all that and I don't charge any fees for that. I feel like that's part of doing business. That's part of the cost of doing business. But at the same time, I also can't afford to pay the shipping fees for everybody. So if that makes sense, that's what I did this last round. And so far, it seems to have worked pretty well. 2 thumbs up. Okay, let's get packing some other stuff. I gotta get busy. Okay, y'all, so we've got a bunch boxed up. I'm going to have Kyle run those to the post office for me here shortly. And I have a few more to get finished yet, plus get this video uploaded for y'all before tonight. Let me show you what the weather was looking like, though, when I got up this morning. Still pretty cold and frigid, but here's basically what we ended up with. Not too bad. Not as bad as I was thinking it might be. But nonetheless, They were able to get the streets pretty well plowed by now. It's the afternoon, around 1, 2 o'clock, something like that, 1:30 I think. So thank goodness. It's frigid, absolutely terribly frigid temperature-wise, but the snow has gone, and as you can see, the sun has come out. So I hope to see y'all back this coming Sunday for my next Niknax live sale. I do have that scheduled. Check the video description for a link to that. We cleared out some stuff that was up here, especially on the top, Sunday night, but I will be adding a little bit more to it here and there. I'm just trying to give you guys an idea of what's currently on the shelves. Got some paperweights, some mugs, some art pottery, baskets, all kinds of stuff. And then of course during my last sale, as I was trying to bring the camera over to show the shelves, I accidentally showed my side buffet with some other items. Some of these are items like this glass set that I've run before a couple times, as well as these ones. These are Mexican blown glass pieces, and they just didn't go anywhere. And you know, they're a little bit larger, so I don't know. On the pictures and the glassware, I figured maybe it's better to just list them. Maybe even the same thing on this piece here. This is a hand-painted piece that's signed, and it's on this stone, and it's beautiful, but it is quite heavy. These mugs all keep in the sale. This clay art piece, these I have listed online, but have brought them down and ran them. These are some fused glass art pieces, and then we had talked about this box of shakers. And my plan right now with it is to do kind of like we did during my Christmas sale, where we started $1 and let it run, and then pick which shaker set you want. There may be some in here that are singles, such as I think this one is. So maybe I'll group any singles together and do those as a set. This little jar here is adorable, and it has matching shakers and all this stuff of 2 different kinds, but it's missing that lid. I have a couple little sets that are in little holders, including these adorable little chicks, but I think these are all Japan pieces. Some of them very Art Deco, very cool. I don't know how many of them have their corks and stuff. These ones do apparently. Of course, there's some gold loss, there's some wear, but overall I think their condition is in pretty good shape. So anyhow, I think we'll do that. Oh, I've got a muffineer in the back too. Oh, and look at this one. This is a single. But look at that. Made in Japan. That's just a different scene than you normally see, especially up on the top here, this design. Very different. And I think this one here is a single too. So yeah, I'll probably just group those ones up together. Anyway, we'll do some of that, and I hope to see you guys there. Join me live on YouTube and or Niknax, and we will have some fun. Clearly, we've got some stuff to go through, and I will add some more to it. If there's anything in any recent videos that you guys have seen that you're interested in, definitely let me know. If it's feasible to run through a live sale, I'm happy to add it in and run it. Otherwise, I can try to pull aside and list it for you. Oh, here's this Dryden piece. I meant to bring that out for my last one, but that's okay. Dryden of Arkansas. But look at that glaze. Oh, I love it. Absolutely love it. All right, guys. That's it for this one. I'll catch you guys on the next one.